Hi there, I'm Jody, and welcome to Embodied Numerology with Jody, where we explore self mastery through the lens of numerology and tarot. 2025 is a year of transformation and growth, and in today's video, we're going to be talking all about the universal year 9 energy this year, but I really wanted to dive into the personal years with you guys because I really feel like that's where the greatest potential and growth are for any year, because it represents the energy that we ourselves are going to be navigating throughout the year. So in this video, number one, I'm going to share with you how to calculate your personal year. And I'm also going to give you some ideas on how you can integrate tarot as a tool to both embody the powerful 9 energy this year, but also dive deep into your personal year energy and give you so much insight and guidance on both how you can navigate your personal and the universal energy this year. Also, provide insight into the types of experiences that you might expect, the types of situations that you might find yourself in, but also, like I said, the greatest potential for growth that is more specific to you. And yes, you can do that all by just understanding more about your personal year energy. I do have a free personal year guide that is available down in the description box for you. So grab that, full of information on not only how to calculate your personal year, but it also gives you some details into what you specifically can expect for the personal year that you are in for this year. All right, so enough of that. Let's go ahead and dive in. So to start off, let's just talk a little bit about the 9 energy that you may or may not already be familiar with and why it matters for us this year. So how am I even coming up with it that it's a 9 year? In numerology, we calculate the universal year simply by adding the 4 digits in the year. So since it's 2025, we simply add 2 plus 2 plus 5, and that equals 9. So it's super simple. That's all it is. Nothing mysterious. It's simply just 2 plus 2 plus 5 added together. And the number 9 carries the energy of transformation, release, integration, completion. It's an energy that invites us all to wrap things up, to finish up and tie up loose ends, and also to integrate and step into all the wisdom that we have learned from our personal life lessons. And so, using this analogy, imagine clearing out a closet in your house and getting rid of maybe what's been tucked in there for, months, possibly even years that you haven't been using. Or if it's a clothing closet, maybe it's going through there and clearing out the clothes that no longer fit you or match your current style so that you can make room in that closet for something that feels more true to you, more aligned, that resonates more with you, and that fits you better for, where you are now in your current life. So that is totally the energy of 2025. So if you can imagine using that analogy, that throughout this year, that's essentially what we're going to be doing as a collective. So those things that no longer fit us, whether that's a belief, a way that we've been doing something, a relationship, we suddenly become aware that we're no longer aligned with it. It doesn't resonate with us anymore. So, as a collective in the world around us, that's the type things that we're going to see happening this year. We're going to see this taking place in the world around us. And one of the challenging aspects of 9 energy and why it sometimes gets a bad rap is if you are not paying attention, or maybe you are getting signals and you're having these feelings that you need to change something that is not working anymore, or that there's things that you need to wrap up in your life, clutter that you need to clear. If you don't do that, 9 is an energy that is going to assist in making that happen. So that's one of the reasons why it sometimes can get a bad rap. And also, it's not always easy letting things go, even if it's not the best way of doing something, or even if it's not the most awesome relationship. It can be difficult to make that decision and to let whatever that thing is go. Being kind to yourself, self-care, self-love, giving yourself the time and the space that you need to reflect and think and integrate the lessons that you've learned. There are going to be cycles throughout this year with this energy where you're going to have a lot of energy. Maybe you've cleared some clutter and you're feeling great. So now you have all these new ideas pouring in about what you're ready to do. And so you're going to have all this energy and momentum to dive into that, only to find maybe a few days later, a few weeks later, or what have you, that you're working on integrating something else. And you need to kind of step back and reflect and give yourself the time and the space that you need. So just be prepared that the energy this year might kind of have that seesaw effect where you are going back and forth between needing rest and time to take care of yourself and integrate, coupled with times where you are excited and you have all of these ideas and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to do this. So just know that you're not going to have that energy really underneath the foundation to really take off with whatever it is until next year. That's what 1 energy is all about. So this year, like I said, is going to be more of that balance between integrating, releasing, wrapping things up, getting ideas for where you want to go in the next phase, but maybe not fully, completely diving into that yet. So that's kind of my take on the 9 energy in a nutshell. Moving on, let's go ahead and dive into the personal year energy. So that was the universal 9 energy. Now we're going to talk about the personal year energies. And while the universal energy influences, like I said, everyone collectively, like everyone all over the planet, our personal year number gives us insight into our unique personal opportunities and opportunities for growth, and possibly the lessons that we might be learning and integrating this year. So to calculate your personal year number, it's really, really simple. So you might be able to even do it in your head, but if you're like me and you need to write the numbers down, grab a piece of paper and pen and calculate it along with me. So I'm going to use my birthday as the example. So my birthday is April 16th. So to calculate your personal year, you simply add the digits of your birth month, your birthday, with the current calendar year, and then reducing that to a single digit. So if we use my birthday, which is April 16th, as an example, April is the 4th month, so that's a 4. And my birthday is the 16th, so we'll add 1 plus 6 to the 4. And then the year is 2025, so that is 2 plus 2 plus 5. And so if we add all of that together, so we would do 4 plus 1 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. And when we add all of those together, we get the number 20. And remember, we're going to reduce it down to a single digit. So 2 plus 0 equals 2. So my personal year for 2025 is a 2. So take a moment, if you feel like it, to pause the video and calculate your personal year number. And then once you have it, let me know in the comments below what it is. I would love to hear it. And like I said, I have a free goodie for you in the description to help you learn all about your personal year number. So now that you know your personal year number, let's explore how tarot can help you embody both the universal 9 energy and your personal year energy. And one thing that I love to do is to pull out the tarot cards that carry both the universal year energy as well as the energy of my personal year. And from there, I like to dive into the themes, the scenarios, the experiences that are depicted in the cards, because they offer a ton of insight into what we might navigate in our lives this year as a collective as well as individually. So taking a look at the universal year, which is year 9, we will focus on the cards in the tarot deck that carry the energy of 9. As a numerologist, I do personally prefer to use a deck that follows the Rider-Waite system instead of something like the Thoth, because in the Thoth, the Justice card and the Strength card are reversed. And, you know, as a numerologist and how I experience the number energy, I just feel like the Rider-Waite system that places the Strength card as the 8th card and the Justice as the 11th, that numerologically those energies fit better in those positions. So that's just a personal preference. You can use whatever deck that you would like, but like I said, for me personally, the Rider-Waite arrangement and designations of those cards align more with the numerological energies, which is how I tend to read my tarot cards. I tend to read them numerologically as well as elementally. So yeah, that's just kind of a side note. Like I said, you can use any deck that you have, but my personal preference is a Rider-Waite deck. So looking at the universal 9 energy in the major arcana, we have the Hermit card, which is the 9th card in the deck. But remember, in numerology, when we're looking at the numerological cycle, it goes from 1 to 9, and we're always reducing the digits. So when we add 1 plus 8, we get a 9. So for the major arcana, we would pull out both the Hermit and the Moon card. And then in the minor arcana, we would pull out all of the 9s in the suit, which means that we would have the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the 9 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands. So that's for the universal year energy. And so I would do the same thing for my personal year energy. And so since I'm in a personal year 2, and I didn't pull those cards out, but for the major arcana, I would pull out the High Priestess card, which is card 2. I would pull out the Justice card, which is card 11 in the Rider-Waite system, because 1 plus 1 equals 2. And I would also pull out the Judgment card, which is card 20, because 2 plus 0 is 2. And then in the minor arcana, of course, I would also pull out the 2 of Wands, 2 of Cups, 2 of Swords, and the 2 of Pentacles. So we're going to dive into the ones for the 9 energy. I'm going to flip down the camera and we're going to take a look at those. And then I also have a spread that we are going to do together. So I'm going to flip the camera down and join me here in just a moment. All right, great. So let's go ahead and dive into and take a closer look at all the cards in the deck that carry the energy of 9, because they really offer so much insight into the types of scenarios and experiences that each one of us may find ourselves navigating this year. But it also provides so much insight into how we can fully embody the energy of the 9 and really use it as a catalyst for personal transformation and growth. And I always like to say that, we experience life with so much more ease when we flow with the energy and the current of the energy around us versus trying to fight it. And I always equate it to, floating down the river versus using all of our energy swimming upstream. So diving into the cards in this way really does show us how we can flow with the energy this year versus, like I said, fighting it and feeling like we are swimming upstream this year. So I know you've probably already heard a lot of people talking about the Hermit. It's the most obvious because it's the 9th card in the major arcana. The Hermit invites us to reflect this year, to give ourselves space and time for what I like to just say, let's be honest, is self-care. So this is going to be a year where pushing and striving may not be the best way to operate this year. When you look at the Hermit and you think about what the Hermit represents as an archetype, as someone who is, alone and in solitude and going away to integrate their lessons and really understand the wisdom of, everything that they've learned thus far on their journey. And there's also this energy of the light being within instead of externally, and giving ourselves that time in solitude to reflect and to connect with that internal light within each one of us as a source of renewal, as a source of integration, and as a source ultimately of wisdom and strength. So I love that energy for this year. So maybe the takeaway from the Hermit for all of us is to, go easy on ourselves this year. Recognize that we need space, that we need time. Maybe so put that in your calendar as me time, giving yourself the space to reflect and rejuvenate this year. And then we also have next in the major arcana, we also have the Moon card, like I said, which is card 18. So the 1 and the 8 equals 9. And the Moon is, it's a card that is about balancing our intuition, our unconscious or subconscious, kind of the energies and themes, scenarios, however you want to think about it, that lie just beneath the surface that are sometimes uncomfortable or that we don't like looking at. It's an energy of those things coming to the surface, right? So recognizing that this year there may be some things that, some patterns, maybe some even past traumas, what have you, that you felt like you've dealt with, you've already overcome this, you've integrated it, that's done, that's in the past. So there could be some of those type things that resurface this year, but for the last time, right? So think about it that way. So if you do find that there's things that come into your awareness, that this is the opportunity this year with the energy of 9 to like truly release it, to integrate it, to let it go, to break that pattern, whatever it is. And I also love that the Moon card is kind of this promise that where there's perceived bad, that there's also good. There's the light, there's the illumination and the guiding factor of the moon. So I love that energy as well. And of course there's many other ways that you can dive deep into this card. So I'm not going to spend too much time on each one of them in this video, but you get the idea. Now, moving into the minor arcana, we have the 9 of Wands, and the 9 of Wands is this energy of being right there, right? Being so close, being almost to the perceived finish line, but maybe needing to take a break, or maybe needing to step back and get another perspective, or maybe just remind yourself that you've come a long way, that there's maybe just a little bit more, there's a little bit more to do, you're almost there, right? So we might experience that feeling this year where we feel like we just, oh my gosh, why am I not at the end? Why is this not complete? And it's just that acknowledgement that you've got this, you're almost there. It's okay, take a break, rest if you need to, but know that you're like right there. The finish line is like right there. So keep your eye on it and just do that extra little bit that is required to complete it, to wrap it up. So that's kind of my interpretation of the 9 of Wands and how this energy may present itself to us this year. And then moving on, we also have the 9 of Pentacles. And I love this card. The 9 of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards in the deck, and it so beautifully represents the quality of 9 energy that is about culmination and completion, satisfaction and reward that comes from being in that place of having completed something, and now being able to just truly like relax and feel abundant and feel what it is that you have accomplished. And so what a beautiful energy for this year, right? And to think about those types of scenarios and experiences that we might navigate this year, where we are able to truly appreciate where we are, what we've accumulated and what we have accomplished, and the just rewards of that, as we see here in the card with her in her, she's essentially got a tree that is growing coins. So love that energy, and what it invites us into this year with the energy of 9. And then we have the 9 of Swords, which, is this energy of doubt, of self-doubt, feeling like trapped and stuck in your head with worry and anxiety. Maybe it's worry and anxiety about wishing something is over, wishing it was over and done with and complete. It could be worry or anxiety of, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Or, feeling overwhelmed with worry or anxiety about perceived external expectations or even self-imposed expectations. And the key message of 9 of Swords, at least the way I interpret it, is just being aware that when these thoughts, when these anxieties, when these worries creep in, that our strength and our power and our wisdom, all of that really does come from within. So it's a message of, not searching externally for the validation or the confirmation or, that comforting message that you feel is elusive. It really is an energy of recognizing that everything that you need is within. So it's about self-trust and allowing your inner wisdom and your inner light and spark to guide you, and finding strength and courage in that to release the anxiety and worry. But it also points to this year, like I said, this is the part of this exercise is kind of looking into the themes here to determine what types of scenarios and experiences that we ourselves might be navigating this year, but also being played out in the community and our family and the world around us. So recognizing that, there might be a lot of anxiety and worry in our communities, in our relationships, in the greater world at large this year. And I truly feel, like I said, the message for that is to go within, find strength within is such a huge, big message from the 9 this year. And then lastly here we have the 9 of Cups, the 9 of Cups, which to me really is kind of touching on the emotional quality of that completion and culmination, and truly feeling, satisfied and fulfilled with a job well done. So it's that ability to feel satisfied and to feel that connection and that satisfaction that comes from that completion. And that is very much the energy of the 9 of Cups and the way I interpret it. And you can see the figure here looks very satisfied, very fulfilled. They're content, they are happy. And so one of the big things that comes through for me is appreciation and gratitude, and using that as a tool this year. So when it maybe feels like the 9 of Swords this year, or when it feels like the 9 of Wands this year, and even if it feels like, the Hermit and the Moon, actually all of these, as I'm thinking about it, kind of the core message here that the 9 of Cups is kind of tying it all beautifully together for us is this element of gratitude and being able to truly appreciate the lessons, appreciate the wisdom, and recognize that anything that might be coming back up this year, it really is truly an opportunity to integrate it and to release it, and recognizing that you're so close. The steps that you've taken are not in vain. They are getting you where you need to go. Rest if you need to, but you're right there. You're almost there. And reminding us that, anxieties and worries that are driven by assumptions or things that we might think others, are putting on us, or like I said, they could be self-imposed. It's a reminder that, that what you need is within, that spark, that confidence, that courage, that contentment, all of it. And then with the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups brings it in beautifully with that appreciation for, what you have accumulated and what you have achieved. So I hope this was helpful for you to do this, and I find it super helpful. And like I said, I do it with the universal energy, but I also do it with my personal year energy to get more insight into the theme of my personal year and what opportunities are there. So the opportunity for us presented in these cards is to integrate the lessons and the wisdom, to finally release some, release some poop that we have been dealing with. Is the chance to finally let it go, release it. And the energy this year is there to support us to getting to the finish line, to wrapping things up. So if there's something that you've been putting off for months or for even years, because this is the 9th year in a 9-year cycle. So this whole year is inviting you to cross that finish line, to wrap things up, to complete things. And lastly, another thing that I love to do for the year is to do a general spread. And I'm going to walk through that with you now. I'm also dropping it into the description box below. But I'm going to go ahead and shuffle my cards here, and it has 5 questions. So the first question is, what is my theme for the year? And I'm going to go ahead and pull that card. Okay, love that. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit so I can get more of the cards in here. And so the second question is, what do I need to release to align with the 9 energy? And I'll put that down here like that. Okay. And then we'll take a look at all of these once I pull them. So actually, no, let's go ahead and dive into it now. So my theme for the year is the 3 of Cups. So this is about recognizing the community that I have around me, the support, and really taking an effort to be with my community and participate in activities with my friends, my family, my chosen family, my community, doing things that make me feel supported, and having experiences with them and supporting them, and really just coming together in a way where we feel loved and supported. So beautiful. I love that as my theme for the year. And then what do I need to release to align with the 9 energy? And I got the 8 of Cups, which really is this energy of releasing and letting go, and recognizing what's in the past is in the past, and being able to move on from that, release those hard feelings, forgive, all of those things that come with being willing to, let bygones be bygones, let what was in the past be in the past, and truly move forward with a clean slate, ready to embrace the new. So that, I feel, is what I need to release. So anything I'm still holding on to, it's time to release it. And that feels very, very relevant for me. And the third question is, what lessons will support my growth this year? What lessons will support my growth this year? Here, I'm going to put that right here. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, which to me really is a card of feeling abundant, overcoming scarcity mindset, and being generous in whatever way that feels relevant to me, and loving, protecting those around me, and feeling that I'm able to do that, that my life is abundant, prosperity in all of its forms is available to me, and using that to feel abundant, to feel supported, and to feel like I have everything that I need on a personal level, but also feeling like I have that to offer to others. And so this is in the position of the lessons that will support me this year. So for me, it's about stepping into this role and really embodying the Queen of Pentacles as an archetype this year. And then what is my greatest opportunity for growth this year? And we have the Three of Swords, which is known as kind of like heartbreak. And it's also a message of letting past disappointment, letting anything that feels like it broke my heart, allowing myself to let that go and to release it and to forgive myself, right? Forgive myself for any grudges or holding on or any types of emotions that may have blocked or impeded my progress for a while. You know, being generous and forgiving of myself, recognizing that, you know, that was okay, it was needed, and this is now a moving on from that and an acceptance and integration. So that's my greatest opportunity this year, I feel, is to feel content, feel whole, feel love in spite of any disappointments or heartbreak, and allowing that to actually be a source of strength is the way I interpret that card. And then lastly, the question is, how can I step into alignment with my personal year? And my personal year is a 2. So how can I step into alignment with my personal year 2 energy this year? How can I step into alignment with my personal 2 energy this year? And we got the Chariot. Interesting. And so the Chariot to me is really about kind of aligning with the path and with where I want to be going, and kind of like going all in. The Chariot is this energy of decision and, you know, being willing to kind of charge forward on that path. And that's interesting that it's how can I step more into alignment with the energy of my 2 personal year. And 2 energy is about connection, partnership, relationships, collaboration, balance, balancing the masculine and the feminine, kind of balance in all sense of the word. And the way this message is coming across to me is really anchoring into what feels like balance to me. What does balance look like to me? What does kind of like finding that center line between taking care of myself, taking care of others, working on my relationships, developing and growing my connections with others. It feels like the message here is determining and being clear about what balance feels like for me. What do I need for balance? And then, you know, going Chariot on it, you know, sticking with it, kind of falling in line with what that looks like for me. So this could be, the way I'm seeing it is, you know, it doesn't have to be strict like routines or rituals, or like I'm going to do this, and this all the time, every day, every week, whatever. But it is kind of like really anchoring into that thing that is going to give me balance and, you know, aligning with it, with the Chariot energy. So I love that. So I'm going to drop this spread in the description for you guys. So if you have not done a 2025 yearly spread yet, I invite you to download this one and do this spread for yourself. And as I wrap up here, as we all move through 2025, remember that Embodying the nine energy is about embracing transformation, and that requires releasing resistance and being willing to step into flow, whatever that looks like for you. And I like to think about kind of the greatest transformation that is available for all of us this year is to be more in alignment with our higher self or our highest purpose, however you want to think about it. And I like to think of this as truly stepping into our personal sacred flow. So once again, there is a free personal year guide in the description box, as well as the yearly spread. And I invite you to download that and dive deeper into your personal year number. And if this video resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share it with someone you feel needs this message. And until next time, take care.